Okay, so we know that he went to... So we know his loot route and everything. We can sort of go through that right off rip. So he lands here, and his first thought is metal. So he's got his loot route down pat. So he gets, like, straight away, his first thought is, how am I going to get, like, 500 metal right off the rip. But you see, right off the rip, he's already got 300 metal. So now it's just finishing his loot path. You can see he's obviously had this all planned out. You know, knows where to get his metal, knows where to get, like, all of his loot, farms up his rock, specific places. So it's all very set. It's all very set, and the thing that really scares me about the fact, excuse me, about the fact that he had such a shit game, this game, which, by the way, this was a 91st place. The fact that he had a 91st place in one of these games is scary to me, because he had 134 points, and in this game he's got peppers and a launch pad. This could have literally been, this could have been like 150 plus points on the weekend, easily. Look, and so he manages to secure probably the best spot in the game. For Surge, immediately looks to rotate. Look, he's already here before, like, zones only really just started moving in, and he's already up here. Doesn't have big pots, but I don't think he's worried about that when you look at the stuff that he's got. But as you can see, Vortex just decides to push him like an absolute psycho. He wants to take over this place, so this ends up being what kills him. Vortex comes in and does end up killing him. But basically what I'm getting at is the things to note there is, particularly off even in a game that you might look at and go, that's not very useful to review. You're going to look at that and go, he's got a loot path so sorted. He's got a loot path so well done. It's just like efficient. He's got max mats, got max of the hardest mat to farm very quickly. He's got max of one of the he's got max of wood very quickly because he goes through pallets. He's got all of the non-boxes farmed very quickly. He's got a very efficient route to pick up as many chests as he needs very quickly. And then he's got brick as well. You think about how quickly he looted Orchard there for what he gets is fucking insane. And the fact that he can immediately start to rotate into such a good position is really good as well. So basically Vortex just tries to play angles and he hits that shot on him. So he goes down, but I think there's still a lot to learn from that, and that, like, having plans sets you up to do really well. So we'll completely forget about game 1 and we'll go straight into game 2, but I just wanted to show you game 1 anyway, because I think it was really impressive the way that we can see how he's got, like, a really good plan around everything. And then we're straight into a 4-kill win, so it's like going from one extreme to the other, dying off, not necessarily off spawn, but dying in a really early position in the game, to then making it through to come first. So he landed, oh, there you go. So actually a deviation from the plan right off rip. I wonder why. I didn't actually quite see why. Oh, he tried to land early and get tags will be the thing, I bet. So he's just going basically in a backwards route to what we saw last time, where last time he went one way and then tried to, fucking hell, look at what he's leaving with. This is crazy. He went one way, farmed up his metal first, and then went through looting. This way he's farming up his... He's got his loot, and he's farming up his brick and his wood first, and then he's coming back this way and farming his metal last. But he gets to a really good spot here for Surge. This is a really nice high traffic area. Takes a big pot to get into the area, but you look at where he is. He's going to have really nice lines of sight for people rotating into him, and there will be quite a lot of people rotating into him. And he's got here early, so he can wait for these other guys to rotate into him. Should pick up some nice tags. Pull zone, that's a really nice zone for him. So I'm surprised he's stuck here, but then at the same time I'm not. So I can understand staying here because there's a lot going on around him, and if you rotate in, especially at around this time, Surge is about to pop now. If you're moving at this stage, and like realistically, where are you going to move that gives you a better line of sight right now? Nowhere really. So staying where he is, oh my god, and he gets worst case scenarios. That really sucks for him. But staying where he is just ensures that he's not going to have a really torrid time trying to, like, get out of this scenario. You're probably better to try and work your way out of it later, and just make sure your Surge is sorted. Little white line. Well, look at the way he's looking to cut line of sight there. Straight away, you could see him like he was focused on that position immediately. Gets up off the ground. Still sitting on edge. But he made that rotation on very little mats. Just pre-scouted it. Went at the right time. Made it really easily. That was good. Alright, another far zone for him here. And there's lots of people to get past. This is a shitty situation here as well. It's got a long way to go. Jumps in the car. Immediately looks to get up on the higher portion to keep these guys down below him. Cut lines of sight. So if we just quickly drone free this is a really good thing to sort of like think about pre-scouting. If he hugs this hill here, he cuts line of sight for everyone up here, right? So any like Deceptos, he's going to have a hard time shooting him while he's hugging this hill here. And then also he cuts line of sight for anyone who's below him here, or he makes it dangerous for them to shoot at him. So he's cut line of sight from everyone above him, and he's become more of a danger to these guys, and he's also cutting line of sight to them. So by making that movement where instead of basically, you know, you think about pre-scouting, where instead of continuously pushing right and then potentially walking into the path of 2 other people here, he's actually gone and cut line of sight to them, and then by hugging the hill along here, he's cut line of sight to these guys up here as well. It's like the pre-scout. One thing that I Reese noted in his video was like the constant pre-scouting that Tayson does makes all of his rotations really, really easy. He made it from complete edge of this zone here, basically like right here, all the way in with that many people around him on 20 builds. On 20 builds, he had 112 going into this zone, and now he's got 92. So on 20 builds, he got him basically for free, which is absolutely unbelievable. Like, that's crazy. Like, the thought process, the pre-scouting, understanding where he can cut lines of sight, understanding angles. Really impressive, and you'll see it right the way through the tournament as well. Looking to play a little bit sneaky, and he picks up a second launch pad. Oh no. Does manage to survive that as he gets a max pull half-half. That's right, it's got 2 launch pads. That kill he got there, or not even his kill, but sort of being in the area where someone could get a kill, was allowed him to basically be 5-5-5 moving into half-half here. And Vidal will go down, and he will be 5-5-5 going into half-half there. Gives himself a pad box, making sure he's free. So again, just like one of the things that you'll constantly notice about Tayson is that his pre-planning, his fundamentals are just so solid. Like, that is such an important thing to do. Just go out, make a pad box, so you're not having to check your head. You're not having to do like, you've got a specified box you're going to pad from. It's already made. You're not going to get it's space you already own. It's there and ready to go. It's not something that you're going to have to make on the fly. Another box, giving himself 2 boxes again. I'm not sure if he's going to pad this. I assume he is. And I'll assume that this is his pad box again. Might go out and make another one now that there's someone around him. Or go up. That's another thing that he likes to do. Waiting for first moving. But you see, like, he's going into first moving here with 130 builds. Like, that's really fucking good. That's really good numbers. Now, I love to see that. Again, another example of him just making sure everything is right and ready to go properly. Look at this. He's looked up and he's gone. He was in this box here. He's looked around him. Didn't mean to do that. He's looked around him over here and he's gone, oh, there's a lot of people here. There's a lot of congestion here. This is not a nice area to be in. He just kicks out and makes himself 2 more boxes, and now here, when he's ready to pad, he just has more space. He's not going to get caught in someone's box. It's free and it's ready to go. Again, that forethought of, got to do my basics correctly. It's so simple, but it's so important to do. So moving into endgame here, and you should see him get a relatively free pad here. Of course, he'll check his head, but he gives himself some clear space, so he's not going to get caught. All right, and we'll slow it back down here. It lands low, lands far ahead. It also lands edge. Used it to put himself in a really nice spot. He is down on ulti low, which I'm not a huge fan of in solos early, because there do tend to be lots of people, especially as you're landing off launch pads. There do tend to be lots of people around you, so I think having a sort of reset moment there is really, really important, making sure you're selecting the right layer right off spawn. Sorry, right off the launch pad. But make sure he plays right to an edge. Make sure he plays as far forward as he can. So, again, the fundamentals are really good. And then, even though he's got 100 builds left, immediately looks to break into a thing. Tries to shadow someone for a refresh. When that doesn't work, straight out of that guy's tarp so that he doesn't get caught up and into another area he doesn't want to. I think he gets a refresh there without intending to. Picks up another pad too. And again, look at the fundamentals there. Looks to get right onto an edge. Right, like basically clearing congestion straight away. So you look at him right down here. Basically, I think he's probably in the best spot in the lobby here because he has pick of the litter of where he wants to go where Deadside is. So Zat pulls basically directly ahead. He's got all the choices he can make. So zone goes backwards. So basically, there will be no Deadside in this one. It'll just be reactionary. But he can, with where he is, he can be the first guy to be getting ahead here. So straight away, you see that. First thought, let me get right back ahead. Straight away, moving ahead. Look, couple little EJ dash boosts. But immediately, he's already cleared layer. He's already cleared ahead. He's already got his own layer. He's already free to go. He owns a space. So he can now look back and potentially look to recycle. Recycle a tarp, that is. He can potentially look for height. Which is, there you go, it's what he's doing. Benji, a little bit distracted back zone. And he takes it for free. And he'll basically go ahead and win this game for free. With 60 builds left. I mean, like, you think about it for a second here, right? What did he do that you went, wow, that's a really amazing play that he just made? When you think about it, everything that he did in this game was just stuff that you'd expect a top-tier player to be able to do. He just pulls it off and makes sure he does it consistently. It's about having really good fundamentals, a really good game plan, and then executing on it. And it's something, and that's just what Tayson did all weekend. 5 people left, so it's just like, now it's just all about pressure. 500 ammo, he's now just got to make it really difficult for these guys to survive. 1v1 with Teak. Oh no, misses the shot. That should have been wraps there for Teak. Just misses the shot though. Makes it difficult for him, but obviously does pick up the win in the end, sort of resets a little bit there. Takes out the tree, and then he'll get the win here. So all that was, like when you think about it, all that was just him doing the right things at the right time, every time. Fundamentals were as solid as it gets.